Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Vaetchanan, and it is Deuteronomy 3, verse 23 through chapter 7, verse 11. The Haftarah is Isaiah 40, verses 1 through 26, and the New Covenant reading is Mark 12, 28 through 34. This Shabbat is Shabbat Namu, and it gets its name again from the Haftarah, which is in Isaiah 40, and we'll just turn there quickly. Those first words in Hebrew, it says Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, comfort my people, says your God. So God's here talking about comfort because this Shabbat Namu, is the Shabbat following Tisha B'Av. And we know, just like we talked about last week, that Tisha B'Av was the date that both the first and second temples were destroyed, as well as other catastrophes that happened. It's a day of deep mourning. And here, God is saying, comfort my people. So now getting back into this week's Torah portion, Vaetchanan, and I'll just give you an overview of what's in it and then talk about what God speaks about more than anything here. In the beginning, Moses is pleading with God to go into the promised land. And God says, don't speak to me anymore about it. You're not going in. He talks about how the children of Israel must listen and obey. There is a recap of the 10 commandments in this portion. And what I consider to be Israel's life verse is in this portion. Also, God talks about that when he brings the children of Israel into the land and they start to prosper, that they will not forget him and not forget where their blessings will come from. And last of all, that they would not mix with idolaters, because of course we know that's right there at the beginning of the 10 commandments, that we would have no other gods before him. So what I wanted to really focus on is, of course, the heart of this, which is Israel's life, what I call Israel's life verse, which is the Shema. And it's in Deuteronomy chapter 6, starting with verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love Adonai with all of your heart and with all your soul and with all of your strength. These words which I am commanding you today are to be on your heart. You are to teach them diligently to your children and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign on your hand. They are to be as frontlets between your eyes, and write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And we know in the New Covenant, it's also written that basically God knows that we love him by the fact that we keep his commandments. And this is what he talks about over and over and over. It is the very heart of this whole portion. And if we look back in chapter 4, starting at verse 1, now Israel, listen to the statutes of ordinances that I'm teaching you to do. Also, just want to mention that when God says Shema Yisrael, it means the word Shema is to hear, but it's more than that. It means to hear and to do. And so whenever God says, listen, Shema, listen to my commandments, it means hear them and also do them. So he goes right on, starting in chapter 4, talking again and again about keeping his commandments. And in chapter 4, verse 7, it says, what great nation is there that has God so near to them as Adonai our God is whenever we call on him? What great nation is there that has statutes and ordinances that are righteous, like all of this Torah that I am setting before you today? And I think that's a beautiful verse too, because truly the Lord's ways are good. His laws are righteous. And when we obey him, and he brings this out again and again in this portion, obeying God is good for us. that it would be well with us, and we really see that his ways are right. When people live according to his word, it makes the world a better place. We see peace come into families just by following what God has told us to do. So today I just want to rejoice with you in this beautiful word that God has given us, these righteous commandments, and just that we will seek him again with all of our hearts and all of our minds, and that we will obey his commandments and show him we love him by our listening to his word. I bless you today. Have a great day.